Now those of you who are fans of my other videos are probably expecting me to burst into song or some kind of funny poem right now. But in this series of videos, I'm going to take you on a different journey. It's my ozone odyssey. We're going to explore a little known form of oxygen known as ozone and how it might be useful in this pandemic world. By the end of this video, you're going to know how to build a chamber which can help minimise the risk of bringing infectious disease into your home and even protect other members of the household if one person is sick. And the good news is, you don't have to be Bob the Builder to do it. In fact, this could be the easiest DIY project of all time. I mean, take this for example. You do your shopping, you use the ubiquitous hand sanitizer, you wear your damn mask. But what about all the goods you're bringing right into your kitchen? Did somebody sneeze on the cheese? What if some grubby kid rubbed their hands all over the fruit? We quarantine our country, but you can't quarantine fresh food. Some people I know spend hours wiping all their goods down with noxious chemicals before storing them away. But what if there's a better way? One that requires little manual labour and leaves absolutely no trace. I first met Kiwi Kim a few years ago, but even back then she used to go on and on about the benefits of ozone. Kim runs a company called Natural Ozone. She's always telling me about how ozone's been proven in the lab to kill 99% of pathogens, bacteria, viruses, even mould.
Not that kind of lab. Who's editing this video? But what you say is true, and you can find links to numerous independent scientific studies on my website. And the best thing is that once ozone has done its job, it dissipates back into the good old oxygen that we breathe. No chemical, no residue, no problem.
Well, I hadn't heard of ozone being used as a natural therapy for a range of chronic conditions, but I didn't realise it could be used to disinfect a room or even an entire house that's being used as a meth lab. Sounds too good to be true, doesn't it? So I said to Kim, well, if this Tesla ozone's so great, how come nobody's ever heard of it?
Well, in fact, ozone has been used all around the world in a wider range of industry. Big cities like LA and Singapore, for example, they use ozone as part of their water treatment process. And then there's laundries. If you use ozonated water, you will kill more germs and use less hot water. So it's more cost effective, not to mention environmentally friendly. But the average person just hasn't really heard about how ozone is really useful in your own home.
Well, that could be true. I remember when I first started selling solar panels back in the 90s, everybody thought it was a joke, even people in the industry. Pie in the sky at best. But now it's cheaper than dirty old coal. So when this COVID crisis hit, I thought it was time to investigate this ozone business for myself. So, ozone is nothing other than oxygen like we usually breathe, except rather than having 2 atoms per molecule, it has 3. This third atom is a bit of a loose cannon, and it can't wait to combine with organic material, which includes viruses, bacteria and mould. In the process, it oxidizes those materials and renders them harmless to humans. It's this same volatility that causes ozone to dissipate quickly in the atmosphere once it's been released. This is why it can have a disinfecting effect without leaving any chemical or poisonous residue. I've been reviewing the available literature, and it turns out that there is good, strong science to back up everything that Kim's been telling me. One paper in particular which attracted my attention was this one. It was written by a group of innovators and scientists, all very highly qualified. We've got a link to it on Kim's website if you'd like to take a look for yourself. So these guys usually spend their time working out how to turn scientific innovation into consumer products. But in this case, they wanted to volunteer their time to help find a way for the average person to be able to sanitize objects that they bring into their home. and even to be able to help remote clinics if they need to reuse PPE gear and don't have any other sanitation method available. So none of the authors of this paper are making a buck out of it, and they made it available online for free. After much experimentation, they came to the conclusion that a plastic storage box and a good quality ozone generator make an incredibly effective, safe and cost-effective rapid decontamination chamber. Of course, the question on everyone's lips is, will it kill COVID-19? Because the authors did not have access to the virus that causes COVID-19, they conducted a very thorough review of all the literature in the public domain regarding similar viruses. They came to the conclusion that if you follow their advice regarding the time and the dosage, and you have a good quality ozone generator, then a setup like this will very, very likely greatly reduce the numbers of all sorts of viruses, including COVID-19, including bacteria, including mould. So to build our rapid decontamination chamber, we only need two things. The first one is a plastic storage box like this 70-litre one that I got at the local hardware store. The other thing you'll need is a decent quality ozone generator. Now here you're going to have to be a little bit careful because not all ozone generators are created equal. Kim reckons that this natural ozone multi-purpose unit will do the job just fine, and she's offered to loan it to us and so that we can try it out and see how it goes. If you'd like more information on that unit, you can go to her website or look at the instructional video on YouTube. Now the authors of the paper calculate that we need to reach two things in order to ensure proper disinfection. The first one is that the overall density of the gas reaches above 20 parts per million, and the other is that the total saturation is 300 parts per million minutes. Now I've got hold of this handy ozone meter which will measure and record everything that happens inside there, and so we're going to find out whether this works for sure. So I've been promoting this as the easiest DIY project of all time. So here's all you need to do. Select a drill bit that's the same size as this silicone hose so that we don't get any leakage. Drill a hole through the side of the box up near the top. Pop the tube through the hole. See, it's a nice snug fit. Stick the ozone generator to the side of the box, and voila, there we have it. Our own rapid decontamination device. The only disadvantage is that it's not so great to breathe into our lungs. So we recommend that you set your chamber up in the garage like we have here, or perhaps in a room that's sealed off from the rest of the house, or maybe even just outside the front door, so that your goods never even get into the house. Another thing we recommend is that you put some blocks of wood on the floor of the chamber to keep things up and to ensure good coverage. Now when you're putting your things in there, you might like to use a glove or something like that. Load up all your essentials and off we go. So we've packed all our essential shopping in there, and now we can add anything else that we're afraid might be tainted, such as the shopping bags or mask, of course, not forgetting the mask, and even the glove that we were using in order to put the things in there. And after that, we can wash our hands in ozonated water because it's been proven that it works better than alcohol-based hand sanitizer to eliminate bacteria. But that's a different story. So the ozone meter is brand new, it's factory calibrated, and it's going to record everything that goes on inside there. So we're going to pop that inside, and we'll be able to read it out from a graph later on the computer. So once we're ready to begin the treatment, we pop the lid on. Make sure you have a good seal, although it doesn't have to be 100% airtight. Now we're looking to get the parts per million over 20, And so I'm going to give it a treatment of 10 minutes. And then I'll leave it for half an hour after that, because it'll go on treating and it'll slowly dissipate. So it's 40 minutes later, and I can see now the parts per million has dropped to only 0.3. It's amazing how quickly this stuff dissipates once it's done its job. And yeah, everything seems to be fine, nothing's been damaged. Looks like it's done the job. So I've downloaded the data onto my ozone meter, and I'm excited now to plug it in and see what we've come up with. Remember, we're looking for two things. One of them was to get the parts per million over 20, and the other was to get the parts per million minutes over 300. So if you look at our chart here, the maximum value is 32.9, so we're well over that 20. And here it's calculated the total parts per million minutes, which is the area under this curve. That's come to 308. So I have to call this experiment a success. Now, there's no way that I can guarantee that a setup like this will eliminate 100% of pathogens. But given that we've exceeded the guidelines in the paper, I think it's going to go a long way to helping a lot of people. So Kim, we put your little unit to the test, seems to do a great job for that. So what are the other purposes that you can use it for?
Well, the multi-purpose ozone generator comes with this diffuser stone, so you can pop that into water and make ozonated water, which is excellent to drink and reap in the health benefits. You can also use ozonated water to remove any pesticides from your fruit and vegetables.
You wash it in it then?
That's right. And it will also prolong the shelf life of your fresh food.
Right.
And then it comes with this cigarette lighter style plug, so you can use the ozone generator as an air ozonator, and it will sanitize your car.
Especially if you've got a dog, right?
That's right. And all this you can find out more on our website under the product section. We have an instructional video that will tell you all you need to know.
Okay, so you're based here in New Zealand. Do you ship like other places as well?
Sure do. We ship all around the world, and if you jump onto the website, then it will calculate your shipping automatically for you.
Okay, well, thanks for letting us put that to the test. I hope it wasn't too stressful for you.
Well, it was a little bit, but yeah, I'm glad it went so well. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. We'll see you next time.
All right then.